Hello, this is Patricia Brooks, and this is Courage Concept number 49. Forgiveness is a gift we give ourselves. I, over the last week, had been searching for an event in my life where I forgave and I received great benefit. And I struggled to do this. I think that it was because I was looking for this big, horrific event in my life where I forgave. And oftentimes we will see in the news someone who has had someone taken away from them by a murder or have been violently violated. And somehow they have come to the point in their life where they are able to have this forgiveness and share that forgiveness with the person who harmed them. And so, because I didn't have an event like that, fortunately, in my life, I was at a loss. But then something came to me, and I realized that the first 3 years of my last corporate job, which lasted for 5 years, was an act in forgiveness. First off, I accepted this position against my better judgment. A bird in the hand is worth two in the bush. I thought I needed the money. I wasn't sure when the next opportunity would come, even though I didn't feel it was the right opportunity or the right boss to work for. And so I accepted the job. And 2 weeks after I started that job, I got a threatening email from a director in that organization telling me that I was harassing her employees and that I needed to back off. Now, I'd been instructed to work with one of her employees by my boss. And so I brought this email to my boss's attention, and he's like, "Oh no, that's not right. That's not right." And I said, "Yeah, let's address this because I need her to know that I was not acting as a rogue employee." And then the next day he came back to me and he said, "Patricia, that is not a hornet's nest you want to poke." And I'm like, "Yeah, it is." I want the satisfaction of her understanding that I am a good person, that I don't do things without being asked to do them, right? In a job situation. And he's like, no, it's not. And so he let it drop. I, on the surface, may have let it drop, but internally I was angry. I was harboring this resentment. And over the next month or so, I realized that I didn't like the way I felt. I didn't like the way I felt about my whole job. And I realized that I had a choice. I could stay at this job and be angry and feel horrible, or I could work to move through it. And so I decided to make peace with my job situation. And so that's what I did. I said, "You know what, Patricia, you're here. And if you're going to be here, then you need to do a good job." And so I threw myself into my work and I went above and beyond. And I managed projects well, and that was starting to be recognized. And I felt good about myself and my work ethic. I felt like I was being true to myself. And so at the end of that first 6 months, my boss comes to me and says, "I'd like for you to work with that director, Angela." And I said, no, you've got the wrong person. Don't you remember? She doesn't like me. She sent me that email. Don't you remember? And he's like, "Yeah, I remember, but she's singing your praises now. You two will work well together. You'll be fine." And I'm like, I don't think so. But feeling like I didn't have really any choice, I led that project. And in the first month, she was respectful. The project went okay. In the second month, the same thing. And I couldn't understand what was going on because she had been so mean to me in that email. In the third month, we were meeting in her office, and at the end of that meeting, she said to me, "Patricia, you have such a calming sense." And I couldn't believe my ears. I thought, no, she didn't just tell me I have a calming sense. She must have said, "You have common sense." But I knew in my heart what I heard, and that was, "Patricia, you have such a calming sense." I accepted this compliment because it was a true compliment for me. I'd been working on my energy for some time, and for her to say that was a recognition that I had made progress. And over the next several months, the project continued to roll smoothly. We actually started to become more friendly. And in fact, a year later, when she was about to retire, she invited me to come stay at her summer house where she would retire. And when she when she asked me, in my heart, I said, no, that's probably not the right thing to do. But before she retired, she asked me a couple more times, and I started to loosen to the idea. And after she retired, we stayed in touch via email, and she asked me again. And at that point, I was ready to go. I was like, yeah, I think that would be something fun for me to do. I didn't go, however, because she fell ill with leukemia, and she lost that battle before I was able to go visit. I was able, however, to send a condolence card with a personal note to her husband. And when I put that card in the mail, I had such a good feeling about myself, about how that relationship unfolded and actually ended, and how much growth I had made in myself. And I was truly aware of the depth of the kind of person I could be. And it was a freeing moment. That whole experience was a freeing moment once I started to let go. Forgiveness is a gift we give ourselves. This concept goes to the catalyst for cultivating courage. That is shifting your perspective, because when we recognize that forgiveness is for us and not the other person, then we can start to entertain the idea of doing so, no matter how heinous the event that was done to us. In addition, it's a shift in perspective, because in order to give forgiveness, you've got to get to that place where you recognize that that person's actions are not who they are at their soul, and that their actions are based on things that have happened to them in their past, and that you don't understand that. You might not ever understand all that was at play and that caused that person to act in that way. But that if you did, that you would have nothing but compassion for them. So once you're able to recognize that the forgiveness is for you and that will help you, and that that person is more than their actions, then you can start to loosen and move forward and attempt to forgive. Now, it's hard. I won't lie. It's hard to do this. But there are some things that can help you to make it a little bit easier. When you recognize that forgiveness is not forgiving or saying what happened was okay, but that you understand that that person is more than that action, that will help you to move forward. Another thing that will help you to move forward and work toward forgiveness is knowing that it is for you. It is not for that other person. It's been said that resentment and harboring anger against a person is like drinking poison and expecting the other person to die. And that's what it feels like inside. So recognizing that it's for you and that you will receive the benefit. And finally, in turning to a higher power that gives you strength and asking that higher power, whatever that be, for the courage and the strength to dig down and to forgive, take the steps to forgive, that will help you as well. Now, it might not be something that you do one time and like, it's all done. I'm good. I'm light. Things are perfect. You may start to feel these feelings of resentment or anger, animosity toward this person the next day after you've done a little bit of a forgiveness practice. You might start to feel it the next week, the next month. When you feel those feelings rise in you again, then it's time to do the forgiveness practice again and again and again. And eventually that anger, that resentment will fall away and you will feel lighter. And you will see how things in your life start to roll more smoothly and that you feel more peaceful. And there is nothing more powerful and more productive than being at a place of peace in your life so that you can move your life in whatever direction you want to go. Forgiveness is a gift we give ourselves. That's all I have for you today. I will see you again next time. Bye for now.